live. Reddit, undecided. I'm not sure. I'm unironically not sure, but I'll say indeed. And greetings to you, beloved and holy friend. Thank you so much for joining me again. Oh, sorry, puppy. Sorry, puppy. Looking for my flipper and I accidentally slapped her. Thank you, Shan. I knew it was you. Pulled a funny face even, knowing that you're gonna be here first. Sending you so much love. I'll be back in a second. Let me get some stuff. That's Puppy Long Tokens. Reddit still not working? I think it's just glitching. I'll probably have to restart it. Manually. I will restart real quick. I'm gonna get my stuff again. I said, ooby doo, I wanna be like you. I wanna walk like you, talk like you, it's true. Oh, ooby doo, I wanna be like you. I wanna walk like you, talk like you, it's true. Oh, I think second time's a charm. Yay! What's your puppy kiss? What's your puppy change? What's your mush mush? Atacand. Atacand. We're live. I've probably like and we're live or something like that. But Atacand sounds like Atacand. Atacand. Kind of sounds like some sort of project, technological project, you know, Project Atacand. What you doing? What you doing, silly thing? You wanna come and fight me? Huh? I have been trained in puppy kung fu. Little drama queen. Okay, I'm back. And we're live. There we go. Atakan sounds pretty cool though. And love to you too, Fred. Thank you. Jovan joining us as well. Shannon. Even Maxine. I'll be with thee momentarily. I'm gonna go get my little cards. What the things are saying. And of course, gonna get Melita, the stick as well. Thank you for joining me. I haven't actually said it on the Reddit. I have said it for the YouTube friends, but indeed. And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friend. Thank you so much for joining me again. Another live stream. Another moment for us to be happy for others. How about that for a stream topic? Be happy for others. Difficult sometimes, right? Especially if we're unhappy ourselves. It's so difficult being happy for others. Then we can actually get angry at seeing happiness within others. But it's been this little creature that has taught me how to be happy for others more than anything. Where I'll just watch her being busy with shenanigans, on the grass, chewing on a bone or something. And the amount of visceral joy I can see in her beingness, it makes me happy. It unironically just makes me happy to see this little thing happy as well. And to kind of extend that to everyone, to see yourself as giving a plant, a flower, some water, and to think how happy it would be having had some water. You silly thing. You silly thing. Hey, you silly thing. Freaking. I don't know if you can see that even. You're terrorizing me. You have some grime in your ears. I'll have to clean you out. So much love to you. Thank you, Servina, for joining us. Thank you, Maxine, again for being here with us. Gateway Process as well. So much love to see you here, friend. Thank you for joining me. Joe, we need it right now. Thank you so much, beautiful friend. Sending mega love. Thank you so much. Thank you so, so much. Whew. Breathing. Breathing in this moment, trying to be happy for others. You know, like we're moving into some wild times, you know, times of what did you just take from me? Oh, a random nut. That was like I'm confused suddenly. Pippi is taking me on a ride. So yeah, you know, the times we're heading into, we're going to see a lot. Let me just say it in so many words. We're going to be seeing a lot of things, you know, like more, like we've already, us as human beings have seen more than probably the collective humanity. Like, think about this. Like, actually think about this. You, as an individual person, has probably seen more parts of the world, more parts of reality than the collective humanity of the humans before the age of the internet. Or yeah, I mean, when were pictures starting to get taken? Even then, just think about the amount of stuff you've seen. A lot, right? So from this perspective of being able to see a bunch of stuff, I believe the only way that we can cope with seeing so much stuff is if we loved it. Is this a little bit too hippie whippy? But I'm serious. Like I'm actually serious. That if we are going to look at the infinity and look at it hatefully for the most part, we'll literally destroy ourselves in doing so. So to completely kind of shift it from this perspective of trying to find love within anything, love within her little existence, you know, playing on the grass, love within the existence of my parents. My mom is coming back home right now. To want to try and make the experience of life as beautiful as possible for her too. It's, I believe, it's the way we're gonna save the world. Literally with love, love for one another, seeing each other happy. You know, instead of trying to pull each other down. The whole crab analogy, where if you have a bucket full of crabs, and one of the crabs try to get out, the rest of the crabs will drag him down back into the bucket. This mentality of, if I can't be happy, no one else can be happy, you know. And I feel like that's where the mentality of like shooters, for example, comes from. You're not shooting other people because you're having a grand time at life. Very much not so. You're shooting people because you believe you're separate from them, and seeing them happy, seeing yourself not happy within their happiness, makes you feel even more separate. Convinces you with even more clarity that, yeah, I am this, unhappy, and they are that, happy. And because I am this and they are that, they are surely not me. Are you sure about that? You sure about that? Happiness is always better when shared. Happiness is always better when shared. Absolutely. And the weird thing to me is the fact that you can share happiness without having to directly share it. You know, again, and I'm going to probably pull a bunch of similarities with that, but with watching a puppy, you know, like it is easier for us to be happy for a puppy's happiness than it can be sometimes for us to be happy about people's happiness. Yeah, sorry. And I feel it's possibly because we identify as people. So when we see other people as happy and we might not be feeling as happy, we don't want them to be as happy. But when it comes to our pets, when it comes to our dogs, we kind of see them as, I want to say, an extension of ourselves. In the same way a child is the extension of yourself, you want to see this part of yourself happy, right? But to realize and to kind of really tune into this understanding that everything and everyone is that extension of yourself. That from here, from this point of awareness into infinity outwards, you can see all of that stuff in love. Literally, as if you're the one in the love seeing everything else. We have Kayana joining us as well. Killer, friend of peoples. Hello to you too. Thank you, Kayana. It's so nice to see you, friend. Again, Savina joining us on the red as well. 143. I love you. I love you too. Sharing is caring. Thank you, Brother Brandon, for in this moment sharing yourself with us. Red Clicker is here as well. So much love to you, friend. Even the Rambler saying howdy. I missed you the last couple of days. Hope everyone is doing well. I was missing you too, Rambler. And yet, here you are now. Almost like we've been nowhere else ever before. You know, every single time I practice yoga, especially the yoga practice that I've been doing, it kind of has this ethereal time dilation effect where technically it's only 20 minutes, the whole practice, but it's been feeling longer and longer and longer and longer every single time I do it. And not from this perspective of I feel like I'm being dragged, but from this perspective of I'm so present that the individual moment feels longer. And I'm so happy to be in this individual moment with you again, Rambler. How are you doing, my friend? Where have you been? How has life treated you? Asking only because I care, not because I'm interrogating you, friend. So much love to you, man. It's nice to have you here again. I think we have some YouTube comments that I'm missing. We have Joy V joining us as well. Again, love to you, friend. Gateway. So your Discord post. Me too, actually. And I'm so happy. I feel like I know you better now. The fractal is even a little bit wider. Being able to match your smile of the words you share, right? Thank you. Thank you so much, Gateway. So much love to you, friend. Powerful YouTube goat fart. Like if I think about powerful YouTube goat farts, it kind of has like a distorted alien-esque sound to it. Not exactly like ass cheeks clapping. I don't know how does farts happen. I'm so sorry. Miss Molly joining us as well. So nice to have you. We have Melita saying, I'm so angry and not patient today. The yoga calmed me down a bit. But still a little bit of restlessness. Melita, I'm holding Melita the stick here with you. Feeling into that restlessness, feeling into that anger. And then letting go. Letting go of everything, letting it melt away, the stuff that does not serve you. Everything smells so fresh right now. The rain has just started. Sovina, thank you for letting me tune in with that. I washed my hair with lavender something something something. So I'm having like these wafts of lavender just around my face. So kind of tuning into the rainy, they call it per something, p something. The smell of rain falling on things. Petrite? Damn it. Words are hard. Hello, friends. Jumpin is here as well. Good to see your face again. It's nice to see yours. I mean, I see the face of Jumpin Jumanji as just this being, you know. I like if you friends, if I don't know what, there we go, Petrichor. Thank you so much, San Sanchester. I appreciate you helping me, right? So yeah, you know, if I don't know what you friends look like, you're just kind of one of those, you know, triangles that have triangles on them. You know, triangles and triangles and triangles, and then there's a big eye in the middle of it. And then everything that you share with me, the words, your likes and dislikes, kind of fits within those triangles, within inside triangles, within inside triangles. And then as soon as I see your face, then suddenly that triangle consolidates behind your face, you know, and I can see the face behind the triangle. Am I confusing? Maybe a little bit. Oh, jump in. I see you, friend. I see you as an awareness in this moment, and it's nice to have you here, friend. All the beautiful usernames I love seeing. Isn't it wonderful, dude? Just to know that we're not alone. What's up, Mel? Do let us know, friend. The happiest being in the world right now is Pippi, I think. She has No expectations. She doesn't want anything to be differently. She just is. Like oh, teachers, so many teachers. Hearing the birds sing, for what? We believe it's mating calls, but that is us trying to understand. I like being a triangle. You are jumping Jack Jumanji after all. J j j. J j j j j j j j j j j. Kira Burb, it's nice to have you here, Fred. How are you doing? The happiest being. Got unexpected problems at work, so didn't even get the chance to work properly today. Just feeling so jumpy, regardless of what's happening afterwards. I'm curious, as I always am, but I leave it to you to let me know as much as you want to, friend. We're here with you, Melita, no matter what you want to share. Sharing is caring after all. Thank you, Brother Brandon. I'm sorry to hear that. Sovi9 Sink. Oh, yeah. My cat cuddled me in the morning, which she doesn't do too often. So I felt in the moment that it will be a high point of the day. Okay, so it's beautiful you say that, actually, Melita, because it comes up as this question of sometimes we wake up feeling like, ugh, and then we go into the day, and then every single person we interact with happens to be an asshole, happens to say things that just rub us the wrong way, manana, manana, and you can be like, oh, yes, I have manifested for myself a day of difficulty, or it is just a reflection of who you are in that day. That on a real level, you're not seeing anything other than yourself. You just happen to be seeing all of the assholes because you feel like an asshole or whatever, and kind of like attaching that to today's topic, this one of seeing, being happy for other people's happiness, how that is almost the antidote to this conundrum we face sometimes of feeling a certain way and then having the world prove us right, being like, yeah, in fact, everybody is an asshole, including me. Hungry Fox, hello from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Good morning to you too. Thank you for joining us, friend. Welcome to South Africa. Faceless triangles are important too. Faceless triangles, lives matters. I shouldn't be joking about stuff like that, but yes, yes, damn it, yes, Jumpin. I completely agree. Oh, Canada, boops meowdy. Good morning to you too, Gregs. It's so nice to have you here, beloved brother, beloved dad. Maybe not mine, but a dad to someone. High point of life, seeing you, Mel. Hey, even the Gob Nugget is joining us as well. So much love to you, Brother Bear. I can dig it. Usually a high point of mine too when the Katies just come up to you. I actually, weirdly enough, Ginger came up to me as well today, which he also doesn't regularly do. And I am like kind of allergic to cats. So every single time I give him pets and I touch my own face, I'm like wrecked for like between 5 to 7 hours, unless I can no histamines, stop histamines in time. So usually I have to like directly after like giving him pets, I go and wash my hands. And like I was giving the yard some water today, and he just comes up strolling to me. And I look at him and he like rubs his head against my leg, and I bend down and I give him some chin scritches and head scritches. And there was a Netflix documentary yesterday, I think it came out yesterday, of like what's happening inside the world of a cat. And we like literally talked about that in stream on that day. And I was like, synchronicities, frequencies. And one of the things that they were talking about is slow blinking, that in nature, making absolutely visceral, unbreaking eye contact is like Yasi Bobasi, Wabi Bogabi to them. They like, no, fam, please don't do that. So the appropriate way to look at a cat is kind of with soft eyes. And I did that with him, and he did it to me, and I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you for letting me tune into your frequencies as well, friend. My cat just crawled onto my chest and purred in my face for 5 minutes. I feel so loved. Hungry Fox, I'll let you know. You are, in fact, so loved. Your little cat, after all, is a node of the universe as well. as you are, and you too, as nodes of the universe, have come together to share love instead of to share hatred. Slow blinking cats have a lot going on in their heads. I'm really curious, dude. Like we know quite a lot about cats now. Like our research on cats has been like 15 years behind dogs. Cats are apparently significantly more intelligent than we give them credit for. They know their names, they just don't respond. They don't really want to listen to you. They understand context. They choose humans over food or toys. They, like you probably know this, they meow at frequencies close to like babies crying, so it's impossible for you to ignore them. They believe they're God. They know they're God, technically, which is a trippy thing about this reality, right? Like human beings usually tend to be the ones that know their God first. And yet, they probably have figured it out before we did. Where dogs could see us as the gods, cats realize they are. They are sneaky smart. Yeah, they're smart in the way where they don't want you to know that they're smart. You know, we might figure out a way to put them to work if we knew how smart they were or something. Gregs, it's so nice to have you here, friend. Yes, Gob is gonna explain to us. He says my budgies got spanked by the yoga practice yesterday. Gob, I've been getting wrecked, dude. Like that I don't know how to say it exactly. That day I took where I was just like going sicko mode on my buddy was like, yeah, now we're gonna go sicko mode on you, fam. Freaking getting knocked back. And I wonder, it was kind of fun to me, you know, like I've been thinking a lot about this contrast between pain and pleasure. How pushing on the pain button allows for pleasure, and then pushing on the pleasure button allows for pain to arise in both circumstances. As in, if you, for instance, you know, keep what is a dopamine cycle? Yeah, like, you know, we have a pretty good example in your hand right now. If you're like mindlessly scrolling TikTok or Instagram or even Reddit for like 9 hours in a day, right? Like that's a lot. That's too much. And you're just in that space. Dopamine, dopamine, pleasure, 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 pleasure. It's like you pressing down on that button, creating like an imbalance inside of yourself. And then as soon as you let go of that button, it comes back in the form of pain, in the form of discomfort, in the form of dissatisfaction of whatever is going on in the moment right now. And to kind of think about exercise as you pressing the button on pain. But I was, even though I was pressing the button on pain, I was enjoying it. So now I'm suffering for having enjoyed my exercise. You know, and it's not suffering necessarily. It's just I feel kind of weak in comparison to how strong I felt when I did the exercises. You know, which is understandable, but I'm noticing. Cobb, I'm happy that you're noticing yourself and your body as well, but the bear. Wobble bobble, we salute you. Yes, we do. Natalie, it's nice to have you. Had a lovely thought of how our cells are constantly replacing themselves and how we have the ability to put our best energy in those cells today and to help get us through tomorrow. Yes. Yes, Natalie. How do you do that, Gob? You drink water. You speak good thoughts. You know, one of the my favorite understandings about being a human is the fact that this is your vehicle. You know, it is technically just a sensing organ. It's a sensitive sensing organ that your experiencer, your observer, is aware of. You know, it's not you. But in this context of this thing not being you and not having the ability to tell itself a story of the you that you are, every single thing you say to it, it believes. As in, if a bee, like this is the easiest example to make, if a bee flies into your room, there can be two responses. One response is, oh, little bee, you're lost, little friend. Let's see if I can help you outside. You know, deep sense of gratitude, deep sense of compassion for this little bee's life, knowing that it probably got lost, you know, it probably has a whole life out there, twerking on flowers and stuff or whatever. So you want to help it outside, you know, so that it can go and do its job, pollinating, being a little bee. And then the other side of it is extreme anxiety. You know, maybe you've been stung by a bee before, maybe you're allergic to a bee. So the other side of that response is extreme anxiety. You see the bee, and now everything in your body is like, kill it or get it out of here. We're gonna die. And you're telling yourself that story. Two people seeing the exact same circumstances, bee fly into the room, two very different experiences. And if you had like biomonitors on them, that could like regulate the amount of neurochemicals they're releasing, heart rate, hypertension, like constriction of your blood vessels, tensing of muscles, you would 100% see a difference, probably a visceral difference in like especially cortisol release between the one person and another. And the reason I'm telling you this is from this perspective of, if that is the case with something as simple as a bee, how much more is it the case of our day-to-day lives, where we're perpetuating this story, we're telling ourselves something about ourselves, about our reality, about our world. And if we're telling ourselves a story of hatred, of fear, of things are gonna, be the end of the world very soon, everything is gonna be suffering, na 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 na, your body doesn't know the difference. It doesn't know the difference. It believes you. Again, attaching it to today's understanding or the topic of be happy for others. Because when you're happy for others, you're communicating that to your own body as well. That happiness you're communicating about something you're witnessing is an experienced feeling. It's something that you almost make yourself, make a part of yourself. They only meow to humans and not to each other. They're brilliant creatures. Yeah, they meow significantly more to human beings than they'd ever do to another cat, for example, which is pretty interesting. Kind of manipulative, but it is interesting. Oh wow, instantly got the urge to cry as the stick magic happened. So much love to you. This little shtick, to you friends who are like wondering why I call this shtick Melita, this shtick came from a tree in that direction. I like to prune some trees to make sure that their branches are healthy, at least the ones I can cut with shears. And one of these, like you can see actually, one of these branches had like a bunch of blemishes. It got hurt in a way where it wasn't producing a healthy branch anymore. So I cut it off and I saw this little stick and I was like, I'm gonna take this stick with me. Sanded it, got it nice and smooth, added beeswax to it, then ended up burning, or not necessarily burning, maybe just melting the beeswax into the wood and gave it a name. And as I was like telling Melita about my process with this, she mentioned that that is what magic is. That magic isn't you skibbly bobbly boop and then suddenly, but you taking things of nature, piece of wood, piece of wax, fire, and then myself as a body, as a being, to make something that wasn't. And that is the magic. And then when I was like, that's kind of neat, I added the name Melita to it so I can remember her as I remember magic. Thank you, Melita. Cry, friend. It's okay. Try it out. There we go. Joy V is also encouraging it. Focus on the moment and not dwell on the stress. It happened. It helps me to crawl into chats and feel less like hiding and more showing the other parts of myself I forgot to put first. Sometimes a good cry is needed. Natalie, you're so loved, friend. Thank you for sharing yourself in this moment with us. At the time of writing, Pippi was happily barking at things and then got picked up and dog napped on someone's shoulder. Is that true, Pippi? Is that true? She was looking away. She was like, I can't answer you, fam. I'm glad to help Shannon and Nana. Even Lolo is joining us. Man, you friends are absolutely melting me. True, focusing on one point closes you off, while focusing on a wider radius of things and people is more relaxing. Maybe the special cat day. Maybe all of the cats are conspiring to manipulate our brains, to make them our ruling overlords. If they can help us out of this mess, I'll embrace them as our overlords. My Koji is sitting next to me, staring daggers. He wants to make sure that I know his breakfast is due in an hour. He's like, fam, you have a job to do, right? Like I feel myself getting hungry right now. I'm just imagining. I'm just imagining the thoughts behind his head as he's like looking at you intently. You know, is it thoughts of love? Is it thoughts of yes, bitch? Or something. Don't you go making us self-aware of how much we scroll. Natalie, how about you? I do it as well, friend. I do it as well. And again, it's not about being like you are wrong for doing this thing. It is more we do this thing. Let's pay attention to it. Be like, yeah, we do things. Yes. So we can actually make decisions based on what we've been doing. Today, the sun conjuncts with the star Regulus, being positive energy, bringing positive energy. This star carries strength, peace, and power. It's also the star of empathy. The energy can be used for the sake of acceptance. In this moment, accepting that sometimes you will be happy, sometimes others will be happy, sometimes you and others will be happy, sometimes you and others will be unhappy, sometimes others will be happy, sometimes you will be unhappy. And throughout all of it, to be happy for one another, to accept all of that, to accept that sometimes we will be happy and others won't, to accept sometimes others will be happy and we won't, to love them regardless of that, to see them so much as yourself, to the point where if it was you as that person, would you want yourself to be happy living their life? And if you're answering yes, then the problem is solved. Thank you, Shannon, for sharing that love with us, friend. You know what? With that, the energy of acceptance. I accept you, friend, for all of your bibs and bobs, for all of your scoops and gaps, for all of your skimpies and scampies. Regardless, you are. Nothing more to be said. You are, friend. Just think about that. That within this universe that is mostly void, you are. Yeah, I accept. I accept being. I accept being. Ermias Plur as well. And I'll read something worth saying just to be like a little bit of an anchoring point. How about that? Oh goodness, this one's a good one. In pure spirit, you are unbounded and without form, but you are not without consciousness. In pure spirit, you are unbounded and without form, but you are not without consciousness. To me, in this moment, that is communicating just again within today's topic of being happy for others. The fact that others is seen in the shape of form takes our ability away to be happy for them sometimes. You know, and it comes in many different shapes and forms. It comes in financial. Let's use the word jealousy, even though I don't necessarily like it. Financial jealousy, jealousy within relationships, having a relationship, not having a relationship, being in a relationship with a certain type of person, jealousy within career, jealousy within status, jealousy within body. All of it is but versions of form, versions of form that we have somehow convinced ourselves we need or are without. And if only we had said form, then surely we would be happier. And yet, those people that are in those forms that we could be jealous of aren't necessarily any more happier than you are. That no form in and of itself brings happiness. That without form, in pure spirit, unbounded and unlimited, you are conscious. It comes from that consciousness first. You cannot be jealous of something you are unconscious of. You cannot be happy for someone or angry at someone if you are unaware of them. So just realizing it comes from your consciousness first. From this moment. Reprogramming yourselves, huh, Natalie? Literally. And again, if you're telling yourself this story and that story is perpetuating into your body, then every single 7 years, you literally replace every single one of your cells. So over these next 7 years, we have to try and replace all of our cells as perfectly as possible. Try and replace every single one of them of a cell of love, a cell that just wants to bring good into your body. I read recently how they became domesticated. It was out of convenience. We had food, so they hung around. That technically is like the direct approximation of what happened, Greg. And you are right in that. But it like the rest of the fractal is basically we started to do farming. Why is words hard right now? We started the agricultural. Please, please, you brain, please. We started the agricultural revolution, and alongside that, we had an excess of stored grains. Excess stored grains attract rodents. Excess rodents attracts cats. And then the cats were like, wherever these humans go, they store grains, and then wherever they store their grains, there happens to be all of these rats, and then wherever there happens to be rats means there's like gang food for us to eat. So as you mentioned, it became a thing of convenience for them to just be like, yeah, we'll just go where the humans go. There's always food there. So you are right, but it is a fascinating story. They, in a weird way, domesticated us. Imagine that, like wild, like if that happened right now, like let's do a rough example of like let's do snakes. Let's do snakes because snakes is maybe one of those things that's so hard for us. Like imagine if snakes just started to like first live around our houses, eating rats or whatever, and they had personality. They had like a whole way of doing things. They would come up to you, maybe would like be kind of curious about you, look at you, and then suddenly the snakes start coming into your house, sleeping on your couch, and then the snakes, start crawling up on your lap, asking for pets. Then your snake start making sounds at you to make sure you know that your snake now wants food. Like just thinking about it in the context of snake, it sounds like insanity that I'm describing, and yet that's exactly what the cats did. They literally invaded us. They were like, "Yeah, fam, we're like co-inhabitants now," and we're like, "Oh, okay, at least you're doing a job. Thank you for eating the rats." Gob time of the day in your respective regions. Is it? I'm guessing. Yeah. What is the time right now where you are, dear friend? Let us know. Let's see if we are touching only America, only Europe. Definitely not, Australia. It's like 2 a.m. There might be a friend from Australia here right now. Skib, skibab, skittle, giga, diddle to you as well. I want to be one. I want to be the one to check his pulse and transfer his body to the hearse. He was my 101-year-old grandfather who wanted to live at home with me until he passed. It's been a blessing to be a steward of his passing. It's been a heavy week though. Like, weirdly enough, as soon as I started reading your message, Jumpin' Jack, I felt like you were telling me about a book story or like a movie you were watching or something, dude. Thank you, dear friend, for spending that time with him. I can't imagine it must be easy, but the fact that you are doing that makes me happy for you and makes me happy for your granddad. So thank you, Brother Bay, for sharing that. Thank you for your beautiful thoughts. It has been a beautiful experience. What a blessing. You and him, you are and him too. A proper passing of the guard. May his memory forever shine like a golden ember in the night. My thoughts are with you, Badiro. Badiro. Thank you for the love. Thank you, Uncle Becky. 420 viewers. Sick. 420 blazes, friends. For some reason, like I fell into a deep contemplative state now. What did I do? What did I do? What did I do to deserve it? It was like, yeah, you would think deep thoughts. How about how about I'm just thinking about a 101-year-old man, or 101-year-old human being. I'm 24 years old right now. To have lived three more of my lifetimes and then some. Like I cannot even fathom, right? And yet, yet, well, we have that. It's an inconceivably small number even to only have lived 75 years longer, 77 years longer. No, 97 years longer. No, 77. Sorry, I'm tripping out right now. Damn it, 101 years old. How does that even work? And yet I believe that this age of humanity is going to live longer than most humans have, if we figure out the whole climate change thing. That would help. I believe we will. I believe human beings are really into life. And to you friends who haven't seen it just yet, I don't really know if it's a spoiler necessarily. I don't think so. But there's a show called Sandman on Netflix. And I'm not gonna tell you anything about the show itself, but there is a mini story that they kind of explore, where there is this dude who is sitting around a bar table, a bar kind of yeah, a bar table. It's kind of a bar table, I guess, and he's just having a conversation with his homies, talking about the fact that we all die, and we're just like kind of going along with it, that we're not dying because we have to. We're just like, oh yeah, everybody dies, so then we die too. And he's like, no, I'm not. You know what? I've made a decision. I'm not gonna die. He says, and then he doesn't, and he lives like, I mean, I think up to the depth that they went into, like maybe 600 or 500 years. And you can see him change, and you can see him experiencing life in different ways. And yet there is absolutely no part of him, even when he goes through the worst of it. Like he goes through the worst of it for 70 years. So if I, from this moment on, lived an absolute ass life, like it sucks ass, all of it, every day, for the next 77 years, after those 77 years, if death came to me and is like, are you ready to die? You want to die now? I'd be like, no. And his words is like echoing in my brain. He goes, dying is a mug's game. Dying is a mug's game. And I was like, yes, this dude is this me. Me. Oh goodness. Dying is a mug's game. Live, friend. Live as long as you can and be happy for the people living with you. If they're enjoying themselves, be happy that they're enjoying themselves. Try and make it even better for them. Because in doing so, you'll inevitably make it better for yourself as well. Because it's you. It's always you. Thank you for the love and beat. Time to fire it up. I'm considering packing another one, Rambler. Deep breaths full of cannabis. Inhaling THC and CBD molecules, probably a plethora of other stuff as well, but painted for yes, goodness, painted for 11 hours yesterday, adding the finishing touches, and I'll be done today. This is one of my best. Yeah, like it looks gorgeous. Like it's straight up. Like what's the words coming to my mind? It's like polished. Polished is the word that comes to my mind. It looks like a gem that you have manifested into infinity. Thank you, Maxine. I'm so sorry. I burnt your eyes, kids. I'm so sorry. I had to connect with Maxine for a moment. It's pretty awesome. I looked at it closely. You have an excellent eye and steady method. Impressive work, friend. It really is. Thank you for that encouragement. Jump in. She's like, and the fact that we got to tune in with her frequency, with her process as well, got to be happy for her during her process. So sorry I missed your stream. Was so excited to rewatch a bit of it though. Thank you. On V, we saw her. We see you, friend, the same way. You didn't miss anything. You're here now. Still getting the hang of the whole stream thing. Can't wait to post it for you all to see. I'm looking forward to it. You're doing great. I think you touched 10,000 lives yesterday, Maxine. 3 hours and 10,000 lives touched. You have shared into the infinity love, literally. This stream constantly reminds me to rewire my thought processes. The constant reminder that we like smiles and sunshine better than sour fruit and seedless produce. Yes. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Dude. Thank you, Jumpin. Like that's what it's about, right? Like and I feel there's been so many stories of separation in our world as of late. You know, it's very difficult to feel whole. It's very difficult to feel satisfied. It's very difficult to be happy for yourself or for other people in the world we find ourselves in right now. And the fact that we as a community have come together and that is what we choose to do, be happy for one another, see one another, encourage one another, listen to one another, see each other's art, encourage each other to make art, encourage each other to pay attention to the thought processes that we perpetuate, encourage each other to live, to love. It's almost, it sounds too good to be true, weirdly enough. And yet here we are doing it. Thanks for bringing all the seeds. Thank you, Jumpin, for planting them, friend. Hope you're able to feel a peaceful release and less weight of the world. Love you too, Auntie. Thank you, friend. It's such a pleasure having you here. Melty, your suggestions on hanging has helped me with my spine and thrombite pain. Yes. I take absolutely no responsibility. None. I said sounds and you did the thing, so I praise you. Thank you, Maxine. That is awesome, dude. Like the fact that someone in the infinity is experiencing less pain than they did, how can that not make me happy for someone else? Maxine, thank you for tuning in today's frequency and for tuning in with the stream today, my friend. Melt math. Yes. Love equals true. What? Yep. Doesn't make any sense. It does, though. No. Yes. Like, that's not how math works, but if you keep looking at it, it makes more sense. If you keep trying to find it in your environment, it will make you. Thank you for doing melt math with me, Cavendish. It's nice to have you here, friend. So much love to you. It's nice seeing you. He lived a full life. He was legendary before I ever met him. His legacy lives on through our words and eyes. Through you, Jumpin. Through you, through every single person you touch, through every single impact you make, through the kids you might have or not, you know. Literally, you'll have impact either way. Like, he'll live on indefinitely into the infinity, as you will do. As we all do. So much love to you, Jumpin. Thank you for doing that, friend. Like, it's honestly inspirational. That's a long painting session. Are you happy with how it's turning out? I'm sure she is. Rambler. I don't know if you've seen it just yet, friend. Have you tried an inversion table? They're pretty amazing. I haven't tried an inversion table either myself, but the thing that I'm thinking about is having some sort of like pulley system that I kind of like attach them to my feet and then have it like raise me up. I can just like hang upside down, arms crossed from my feet. You know, I don't exactly know what archetype. Like I'm seeing some sort of, you know, that dude standing in between the trucks, right? I'm seeing that, but upside down. I don't know why. I don't know, it's like tripping me out even. The Sandman is based off comics by Neil Gaiman. That came out in 1985. It's so good. The man you're mentioning is named Hob. I love the side story of him and Dream. It's beautiful. It's so I like it. Weirdly enough, I think that might even be my favorite part of the entire show. It's either that or the the death the death scene. Like weirdly enough, I guess that's morbid, but yeah, those two are my favorite. It was a well done, well made, inspirational show as well. I've seen them. I just use my couch. Yeah, that works as well. Best work yet. So close to finishing. Thank you, Maxine, for sharing back again. Backpack Kid. Yo, it's been like longer than a year almost, right? I feel that way at least. It's so cool seeing you, dude. How are you doing, my friend? Hanging over the arm of a couch is like ecstasy. When you find the right spot, you're just like, yes, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be right now. Nowhere else in the universe calling for me. I am. Human beings are very interesting things. And being happy for one another, I believe, is a. Do I believe this? Let me reflect again. Hmm. With a bias, take this with extreme salt. I believe human beings have the unique ability to be able to be happy for other creatures in a way that maybe the creatures we find ourselves surrounded by doesn't, you know? And yo, I feel like I'm wrong. I do feel like I'm wrong in saying this. I do feel like I'm wrong. But to kind of see yourself, at least the ability to choose that as your power, as something in this universe that can be happy for others, as as a fractal, you know, within the infinity, there are these extremely unique, rare, divine fractals that arise, and one of those fractals being the ability to be happy for other beings. You know, like Pippi, if I start dancing, she'll be like excited by that, you know, and she'll get into the energy of that. And we know that cats also can like read your energy, where if you act frightened around something, they'll also be frightened of it. And if you act casual or friendly towards something, they'll do the same as well. And to I don't know if you can even to connect that to their ability to want you to be happy for your happiness, or are they just paying attention to your emotional state? Is there a difference? I'm confusing myself. Spiritual empathy, yeah, I jump in. Like, let me know, friend. Do you think we have, and you know, it's kind of like a pompous human trait to try and do that, to be like, oh yeah, they're a human being. Look at how fantastic we are. Joy is contagious. That is true as well. That is very true. So, you know, to be able to be happy. So happy, so happy, so happy. She literally came up running to me. You gonna be happy? You gonna be happy? You should be happy, happy. Something that I've been fascinated by as of late is just Pippi's eyes. I could try and show you, but she really doesn't like being picked up. You know, like I feel it is an autonomy thing for her. Like she wants to be her own being. You know, she wants to be autonomous of her own movements. So she doesn't like being picked up. So I'll heed you. Like you want to see what happens if I try and pick her up? Let me pick you up. Okay, you're not being too bad today. I want to show you her eyes. There you go. Ooh, that was a shot. To me, it looks like she has like little nebulas in her eyes. Oh, you're gorgeous. Thank you, Pippi. How nice of her to let me show her to you. Hey, everyone. It's Loras Tyrell. Loras Tyrell. That's a beautiful name, friend. It's nice to meet you. Thank you for joining us. What is this guy that comes across my timeline every single day? Almighty rep god. What am I? That's a good question to ask yourself sometimes, huh? What am I indeed? I'm young. I'm naive. I'm unexperienced. I'm curious. I try to be contemplative. I'm willing. And I'm here now. Almighty Rep God, thank you for making me reflect a little bit. What are you, friend? What are you? Let us know what you are. Maybe we can see a little bit of your soul as well. She's like a miniature version of my pup. How much miniature jumping? Like my mind just went to like the extreme as it likes to do, where it scaled Pippi up to like a 40-ton version of her. Like exactly Pippi's proportions and everything. But she just has the ability to eat human beings whole. Same color and markings, but he's about 55 kilograms. Like that's a big dog. Goodness. Pippi weighs like 5 kilograms. So he's like literally 1,000% bigger than she is. That's some scale, dude. I love her so much. Big. Yeah. Not exactly 40 tons, but that's big, dude. 55 kilogram dog. I never had any want to have a big dog, weirdly enough. Like, big dogs to me have always been like, I don't know if it was because of that, but when I was a 5-year-old boy, there was this Alsatian, I believe they call them, a canine unit. You call them Alsatians? Wasn't a husky. Excuse me. You know what dog I'm talking about. But we went to friends who had a dog like this. And I was like 5, and I've always loved the death out of animals. So I see this entity, you know, kind of like outside. I was like walking around the house exploring, and I see this entity, with his head down, he's doing something, and he was eating. And of course, a 5-year-old doesn't necessarily understand that you're not supposed to be touching big dogs when they're eating. So I walk up to this dog and I start petting him. And as soon as I lay my hands on him, he like whips around and just bites me on my face. And like I had like a hole mark in my head, but it closed up pretty well at least. But it was just this visceral, deep-seated, I didn't know this could happen. I didn't know I could have my face bitten. As like this little 5-year-old's world got absolutely destroyed in that moment. To be like, whoa, I was just gonna go in love, and then this dude almost literally murdered me. He could have murdered me if he wanted to. Could have murdered me if he wanted to. But ever since, like at least as a little kid, I was like very skeptical slash defensive against big dogs. And now, as a grown up, I'm not defensive or skeptical about them, but because we had small dogs growing up, our dogs are always lap dogs. Like they want to be on your lap. They want to, like Pippi is like an absolute fiend when it comes to being on top of me. Like where I'll be sitting down, and then she'll like make sure that I know that it's time for me to help her up. Like she can jump up, but nah, I have to help her up. And then she'll make herself comfortable sitting on me. And then trying to again visualize that fractal with, instead of her being 5 kilograms, she's 55 kilograms. Suddenly again my whole world gets destroyed. You're most welcome, buddy. First time I'm actually watching your stream, just out of curiosity. It's nice to have you here, friend. Thank you. We do this every day. We show up as an opportunity for serendipity, but on the most fundamental level, we show up for love. I know it's cheesy, but it's true. Love you, friend. It's nice to have you here, Almighty Rep God. What are we gonna smoke for? I like to set intentions when I smoke as well, so that way I'm not just smoking weed so I can smoke weed, because I've smoked weed before, but I'm smoking weed we smoked for acceptance a little bit ago. And today's topic is this one of happiness for other people. So, ooh, notice. Notice is the word that comes to my mind. Notice. We're smoking with the intention of noticing. Noticing, huh? Something that fascinates me about the human experience is the fact that we filter so much out. If you just take a moment to look around your environment, like there's complexity. There's infinite complexity, and you're literally, like actually, only seeing a small bandwidth of what is actually there. Yeah, we don't know anything. Like, not even remotely anything. All we get to notice is the love. And if we don't notice the love, we experience fear. It's almost like a balancing system, or a mechanism of action. Is this making sense? The way I'm seeing it in my brain is kind of contrived, so I'm not even gonna try and explain it. Has like and then it goes like, and then it. Oh, he's just a big baby. I'm sure. I'm sure he is. Like I'm not connecting the being scared of dogs. They'll bite me. I'll bite back now. It's more the having having experienced the fractal like that, and then how that influenced my fractal up to this point, and how because of the fractal I have of my dogs, that is what a dog is to me. Weirdly enough, a dog to me is a little creature that wants to come and sit on my lap just for the sake of being with me. Where a big dog, I mean, you could do that, but damn, dude, those things, those. I believe animals can be happy for other animals, and plants can be happy for other plants. Nature has a universal language that humans have forgotten. Ooh, Rambler. I believe instead of seeing nature as competition, we should see nature as symbiosis, right? And in that way, symbiosis is a happiness that is reached amongst one another, for one another, which I agree with what you're saying. But two birds, even though they like each other's company and they might enjoy being in each other's company, they will kind of like, if there is a bug on the floor, one bug between the two birds, they'll go for that bug. And if one or another one of them gets the bug, they're not gonna be like, oh, I'm so happy my friend got the bug. Like, that's what I mean. That's technically where I'm getting at, where human beings, even though it's difficult, we are capable of that. of like seeing there is one cookie left in the jar, seeing there is, whatever. You see the point I'm trying to make. And then instead of eating it yourself, you offer it to your loved one, whoever that is, because you want to see them happy, because it makes you happy to see them happy. And we know that animals can do that, where animals can, like parrots, for example. You can teach parrots how to pay tokens to get nuts. But, goodness, this is like breaking my brain even just thinking about it. So you basically put a clear glass with like holes in it. And then you give both birds tokens. And then they teach them that you can give tokens to get treats. And then you can teach those birds that if they have tokens, but they don't have an ability to give those tokens to like the caretaker, they have a hole in the cage to the other bird. So they'll give their tokens to the other bird. That bird will cash the token and then get the treat. They won't get the treat, but they will still give tokens. They won't necessarily give all of them, and the better the relationship between the birds are, the more tokens they'll give. And then when they reverse the experiment, when they change the setup, the other bird will in turn give tokens to the other bird and might give more depending on how much the other bird gave as well. So then you can ask yourself, is that cooperation to take care of one another, or is it a happiness to see the other one getting something necessarily? It's difficult, but I agree with what you mean with the universal language thing, dude. I think we're tuning into it again. That universal language is love. It just is love. Love is true after all. You're in for a treat with this dude, super positive and dedicates himself to showing up for others that feel love. Thank you, Maxine, for showing up as well for that. Matt Boy Cool, what up with you, friend? It's kind of cold actually. I'm considering getting a blanket. Maybe I will. Maybe I will! I'll go to get the Mer blanket, actually, as well. Back in a second, friends. Enjoy the sun. Hey, my puppy long stockings. Was it nice? Freaking silly thing. It's always max chaos with her. What? You want peace and calm? Nah, fam. Peace and calm is for the lame. I'm Kali, don't you know? Destruction. Destruction everywhere. Tongues out. Ooh. Getting a Mer blanket. You wanna come and... Huh? Come here? No? Like, if I was a dogo, this is exactly where I wanna be. Underneath blankets. As it's getting cold, you have to make a decision because it feels like, okay, she made a decision. She listened. I was 5 when I was bit in the face in an almost identical situation. I'm not even remotely surprised, Jumpin. Of course, more synchronicities. I have scars on my face to this day. I was kissed by the canine at a young age. dude, the fact that you experienced the same fractal jumping jack, it's almost like we were talking about that story, and then you elicited that story from my memory because it was your memory. Hmm? Dude, I'm tripping out. Smoke for excitement. Yeah, I should do that. Starts packing a second bowl. I mean, third bowl actually. Maybe I shouldn't be packing this third bowl if I think it's my. I didn't. It didn't traumatize me though. I just learned a good lesson about dogs. I learned that good lesson about dogs as well, and I wasn't any less friendly towards dogs, and I didn't love them any less. But I was much more vigilant. I started asking questions. I really started asking questions. Where if I went to new people's place, I was like, "Does your dog bite people?" No, he's okay. I was like, "Yes, sick." Starts playing with the dog. But if they were like, "Yeah, he sometimes bites people," I'm like, "Yeah, guess I'm not going close to that, bruh." I just became super vigilant. You know, it kind of taught me the value in seeking information from the universe, you know, where it was like, yeah, if you ask the universe stuff, the universe will answer you, and you get to make educated decisions based on what you learn. And I was like, yeah, nice. I'm gonna keep doing that. But unfortunately, sometimes, especially these days, the universe answers in riddles. It's like, yeah, skibbity bobbity, scoobity boo. I turn your what? Skedaddle skidoo. No, I'm gonna remember that freaking meme. Man, it's been too long. I'm happy. My freaking stoner friends showed me that meme for the first time, and it brain damaged all of us for like months. Ski doddle, ski doodle. I turn your into a noodle, something like that. I'm happy that I forgot. My brain was like actively trying to erase that memory. One of my favorite things about summer is the songs that come from the crickets. Such a gentle reminder to be present and grateful for this beautiful place we live in. Thank you for being here with me. You know, like I feel our crickets live straight through the winter. They're like resilient, but actually our winters aren't that cold. That's really what's happening. So it's very much like this is the I feel like one of the coldest days so far of this winter, especially for me to go and get two blankets. But they're pretty active, singing the songs of their peoples, literally. Actually doing it. The choir, 88 souls in the space watching the sunset. I mean, I see 342 right now. I don't know if that's true, but we have 11 friends at least on the YouTube, which is a true number. I think so. I don't know if your friends have been sending YouTube comments and I've not been seeing them. I'm gonna. Yeah, you have been. Mariah, Siobhan, Goo, even brother Isaac. I'm the gas inside you that passes and feels like you've lost 10 pounds. I'm happy that that's the first comment of yours that I chose to read, Isaac. Oh, trauma. Ah! That fucking imagery. I know exactly what you mean, though. I second that shit what Javiv said. I need to go and read what Javiv said. Javiv says, Meld, I'm sorry to hear that all of the adults in the house failed you. I don't know about that. It wasn't up to you as a 5-year-old to know that you shouldn't pet an animal that is eating. That's true, I guess. We didn't have dogs. We didn't have dogs when I was a kid, though. You know, and I was a little bit of a, how do you say, menace, where I would just go places, you know. I was like a 5-year-old, and I'd be like sick. The world is my oyster or something, whatever. And I would just walk in directions, you know, and like my parents, like this is actually something that happened when we went to Cape Town for the first time. They had these how do you explain it? Like factory, they would call them like factory stores, where all of the the factories that produce these, large ticket sale items would have like excess, or like things wouldn't quite make spec, so they would like sell them at like extremely discounted prices in these massive warehouses, and they would just be these rows and rows and rows of clothing. And me and my brother Rido, we would just like, he enjoyed that side of me as well. It was just like chaos monkey. Like, it's 17:17 right now. My battery is on 44%. I just wanted to tune in with that as well. Like 88, 44. Yes. Love to you again. So like, we would just run. We would just be like, get lost in these rows in these factory stores. So my dad literally tied us to a pole. He like actually tied us to a pole. it was it was not fun. But I understand. I do understand. Melting in his cocoon. I feel so comfy right now. Sun is right overhead where I'm sitting. It's trippy, isn't it, dude? The fact that it's now setting and it's right overhead where you are. Like, you are literally on that side of the curve of the planet, or that, that side of the. It's... Oh, those pets are out of control, and I love it. Thank you, Maxine. It has a big rip in the ass cheek, but I still wear them because they're beautiful. Melton and Cocoon, what's up? Trick Track, I'm doing well, friend. I'm sitting in a sunset with beloved friends in this moment. How about you? Were you raised with cattle dogs? You don't fuck with them at dinner time. Yeah. Yeah, no. Especially not those. Those things are savages, dude. Pretty much. Bless the brain and heart, Isaac. It's beautiful, dude. Isaac, so blessed to have you here. So much love to you, Brother Bear. I love reading something so beautiful and sweet, Shannon, and then see my fart comment directly after. It was perfect, Brother Bear. I've been trying so hard to share pictures of my Arizona trip, but Discord is a stank ass and won't let me upload their pictures. Yeah, it's one of those things that, how do you say, triggered me as well. Being like, banana, 8 meg files. I guess it makes sense from a server perspective. Like, if they just opened that feature up to the entire, you know, base of users on Reddit, it would literally be hundreds of petabytes of data, a day probably. So it does kind of make sense, but it's still stank ass, dude. I agree. Still pretty stank ass. Oh, amen, Isaac. Gobbledygook. Lurking. Lurbs yeast. Loves to you too. Thank you, Jovan. I heard squirrels, even Mariah. I've heard of squirrels, raccoons, and crows will do that. Love is profit. Love is profit. You cannot lose. You have not failed if you have loved. You have made profit beyond what you could ever have hoped for. Life is to be a child, fail and skin your knee. Love is the stopping of tears and the healing of pride, thanks to the mother's comfort. They are not mutually exclusive. You are actually very right on that, Brother Bear. I did run to my mom, and my mom was devastated to see me in that state. So there was love, dude. Still, you're very right. Uh, Tied to a pole. Pretty sure that's child abuse, Melt. Do they not have those harness slash leashes for kids in SA? Probably not when I was like 4 years old. I didn't know. I guess you could see it as child abuse. I would like to have my dad tell that story even. Papa! He's in this room right now. Just heard him. I would like to hear his perspective on it. Maybe he'll come. For showing so much love to you. We're exactly where we're supposed to be. Everything is going to plan. No need to worry. Mm. What a divine plan. It's so beautiful. It's so gentle. and yet it can be so devastating and powerful as well. Whew. Tuning into moments like this makes it a little bit easier. According stretch, yeah, so beautiful, right? It's gorgeous. It's like breathtaking all the way. A chance to meet Big Papa Mel. You haven't met him, Joy Vive? Papa! Mama! Doen. Mama, kan omhoog komen alsjeblieft. Julle al twee. Ek vertel die storie van toe julle my in 'n paal vasgemaak het in Kaapstad. Okay, then my mom was like, it was your dad who did that, it wasn't me. Okay, dankie mama. Ek vertel vir die mense die storie van hoe my in 'n paal vasgemaak het. Ek wil 'n paar konteks gee.
Nou, wat maak?
Ek wil wat konteks gee. Ek sê ek verstaan heeltemal, maar iemand is soos dit nie child abuse nie.
It was that or we lost you. Because you were like crazy. You were running around in a public place where there was thousands of people not wanting to listen. We tied you up. You and your brother, we tied you to each other.
Ja.
Yeah. And then to a pole.
En to 'n paal. Sy papa, ek gaan vir regtig nie. Een van die mense wat gesien het, like papa. Ja. Like, I like it. It's just like the chaos, the amount of sheer and visceral chaos that was in my being as a child. Like I could not be stopped. I just and I guess I'm still that way. I've just figured out how to do that sitting down now. It helps. So cool to hear Papa and Mama. Thank you, according. So nice to have you here, friend. I wanted him to get into frame, but he's been working on my mom's sink, so he's in like work clothes, and I don't know if he wants to be seen like that right now. Maxine, thank you. I'll be sure to pass his love, like your love to him too, friend. Thank you. I strangely understand his logic. That's what I was saying as well. Like I didn't think of it as child abuse. You know, like I understood even as a child. Even as a child, I was visceral and I was angry about it and I tried to escape, but I did understand why it was happening. Yeah, you can go. Yeah, you can go. Mm-hmm. I like it. Thank you, Gateway. I'm so happy that you could hear. Oh my goodness, a chance to meet. There we go. I mean, side meeting of of Papa Melt. Maybe I'm just like an expert ventriloquist. And I was just like, at least you were tied together. Exactly. Gateway process. We could like be suffering in the at the moment together. Love to share memories of siblings. Weirdly enough, after that whole ordeal, we were like so amazed, if you will, with my dad doing that, that he bought us these small little remote control cars that would have a remote and you would charge the little car on the remote and then you could like pull it off of the remote, put it down, and you could like control it. It was the coolest thing ever. So we got ourselves, you know, one of those each. It was quite a vibe. Pardon my ignorance, but what language is that? It's Afrikaans. Jumping Jack. It was Afrikaans. I had to tell you to your brother. Mission Cellist. The amount of sheer and visceral chaos that was like it was almost like I really knew, dude. Like I was the awareness of myself was too strong for my body at that point in existence, you know. Like I'm still that way. I have the exact same energy and that's how I move through the world. But now at least I get to be a conscious and capable agent in doing so. Snakerifa, Afrikaans. So weirdly enough, snark. If you added an S to that, it would be snarks, and snarks is our word for funny in Afrikaans. So jy's lekker snarks. Huh, gobbledygoo. Dink jy snarks, oh? You see, so that was two different ways to use the word. The one was like, oh, he's like a snox, you know, you're like, oh, you're funny, huh? And then the other one is, thank you, snox. It's like, you think you're funny? You think you're funny? You are funny, guy. Pardon, it's okay, my friend. Sounds similar to Finnish to my ear. Finnish. That's the first time I've heard that one. Maybe I've heard them before. Usually people like think it's either Dutch or German. I feel for my parents when I was a kid, it was like I was on Red Bull 24/7. Yeah, like imagine how difficult it must be, Maxine. You know, like it can be brutal when your dogs, you know, are like a little bit needy, if you will. Now imagine having a dog that's always needy and it learns how to progressively speak to you to communicate its needs more efficiently. Like that's a lot. That's yes, me looking at my future, having kids, looking down at my kids, tripping out about having kids, tripping out about now, tripping out about not having kids. Please, infinities, please. Naturally. So much love to you, you new Gab, you new friend. Tied to each other. When he puts it like that, Mariah, I'm happy I could call him so he could just defend himself. When we feel hurt, we ask why, so we feel confused. When we are joyous, we ask if it will end, so it fades away. When we act in anger, we wish for relief and feel regret. I wish for wisdom to know what to do next in every single moment, to know what the best next is in every single moment. And if we continue taking the best nexts, we'll eventually get to the best future. The future is in love. The future where slavery of human beings are abolished. The future where we have freedom to express ourselves in the way we want to. Future where love is the truth in every single heart. All we have to do is keep showing up for it. Thank you, friends, so much for showing up with me. We do get what we ask for, yet when we ask, we sometimes get something new. We get something new. It's always ever new, right? Ever changing. And sometimes we ask for things, but we aren't clear. So the universe gives us the best approximation of what we've been asking for. Get clear on what you're asking for, friends. You know, and it comes back to something we were hitting on a little bit yesterday, or maybe the day before that, is say only things that you want to believe. Say only things that you want other people to believe. Because on the most fundamental level, you and other people are the universe at large. And if you're saying things to yourself or to other people that you don't want them to believe, that you don't want yourself to believe, then the universe is not going to believe you either, or is going to realize those things for you. And it's like a trip, you know, where we might be manifesting in our private lives, you know, being like, yes, I can see a future for myself where I'm abundant. I can see a future for myself where I have the love that I believe I deserve. I'm manifesting a future for myself where I have freedoms to be creative in the way that I know I can be. And then every single other moment of our life, we're constantly complaining about not being able to do that. Oh, I'm so limited. Oh, if only I had this, then I would be able to do that. And I'm a victim of it myself sometimes, you know? And it's just about taking a step back and like looking at us, talking about these things, and then being like, if I was going to believe this or not, would I? Wish for the ability to feel the undercurrents and the desires to follow them with abundant curiosity. The undercurrents. The energy underlying the energy, underlying the energy, underlying the energy. How much more is there? You know, and the crazy thing is, I feel like we've had so much depth in these moments already, and we're only just getting started. More psychic blurting. Stop it, no, no. This is the I feel like it's not me. You know, it's as you mentioned. It's like blurting. It's like something flows, and then it comes out, and then as soon as it comes out, it's like in the infinity. And I sometimes have a hard time even remembering if I said anything at all. So it's a gift. If anything, it's a gift. It's not me. It's something that I have to give back. Give to you. I feel bad for with the ability. Thank you again, friends, for the love. I could hear the panic. I think I've missed a few. There we go. I could hear the panic in your dad's voice as he was retelling that day. Couldn't find you. He loves you. He does. He really does. He has loved me this whole time. He just believes that I'm wrong. And he loves me enough to try and convince me of that. But I don't believe I'm wrong. And I love him enough to convince him of that. And it creates tension. And I've tried to stop. Tried to stop caring so much about being right. I think it was by some nice niche band called the Tumbling Rocks. I think I missed a little bit of context. Methinks they made a song about that, Isaac. The Feel Confused one, I think so as well, maybe. Tumbling Rocks. Mariah is a big music fan, actually. You know, like I feel, I don't know if this is true, but I'll say it nonetheless, Mariah, because I feel like it would be something that's nice to hear. I feel like you might have more fractals of music that you like and tune into than most people. And you've inspired and shared depth with me in that way as well. To live consciously is to read your present life from the pages of a history book. To be aware of the space we hold is to take the pen into our own hands. Realize that you're writing your story right now. I love you, universe. The all. Every single fiber of existence. Just a little happy dance. Yeah. Yeah. Alien scientists at the other side of the universe like tripping out because their sensors are like, what the fuck? What's happening? What are they doing on Earth? Love you, universe. What? He's doing it again. I don't know if that's true, but it's funny to think about, right? You friends do it with me. Thank you. Thank you so much for writing the story with me, Brother Isaac. We have Brother Dad joining us as well, the bearded patriot himself. So much love to you, man. How are you doing, little frog? I was being sarcastic. It's the song You Can't Imagine Get What You Want by the Rolling Stones. I was being cheeky. You were being cheeky, but you were twisting nodes within my mind for me to create an experience that was that one. Thank you. You were perfectly divine, Brother Isaac. Thanks, Meltmore, Mr. Melt. After talking with you, after I tried to understand what is life, from the frustrated computer science guy, I turned into a nature friendly guy. I started to travel around the world and I wanted to feel the every moment. Now I feel free. Relax. Yo. Just control. I need to read those words again, dude. Thanks, Mr. Melt. After talking with you, after I tried to understand what life is, from the frustrated computer science guy, I turned into a nature friendly guy. I started to travel around the world and I want to feel the every moment. Now I feel free, relaxed. I'm happy for you, friend. Yo, I'm happy for you. Like I'm seeing the fractal of yourself, completely open up like a flower. closed off, angry. Computer science can be brutal, dude. Yes. I have so many computer science friends. Christian, honors in computer science. Johan, computer science. Duncan, who you don't know, computer science. Francois, computer science. And a bunch of you friends are probably in computer science as well, and I might not even know. It's gonna be a big field, and people that know that are usually smart enough to go into those fields. But being smart doesn't mean you get to be happy. Sometimes we get to articulate to ourselves in visceral detail how messed up things are. And the only thing that we're encouraging in this space is realizing that we can do the opposite. Articulate how great things are. Thank you for opening up to nature, friend. So much love to you, Just Control. I see you, friend. Blessings. It's like a radio wave gets picked up by not trying. I mean, that's how it happens sometimes, right, Jumpin'? Like I'm trying to understand what you are saying with your words, your infinity, because you're trying to give all of the depth of yourself to me through little squibbles, which is difficult to do. It's very difficult to do. But then as I'm trying to understand you, I'm like tuning. And then in this tuning process, I'm tuning into my infinity. And then from that infinity gets elicited whatever comes. And that's why this is a co-created process. This is literally something we're doing together. You friends help me. It makes me so happy to have this with you. Mhm. Man, I think I missed a bunch quickly. How's the stomach been, Dan? Do let us know, friend. I try to share the music with everyone. There can be more perspective through songs than words can describe. It's like a whole fractal, a whole trip that you communicate to someone in a song, and a trip that multiple people can tune into at the same time. It's like you sharing a song is you like sharing a piece of your soul in a way, because it's like and it's the same with a movie, it's the same with a show. If you want someone to desperately watch a movie that you've seen and you felt was a good movie to watch, there's a certain almost like expectation, hope in you for them to love it just as much as you did. And then in doing so, there's a confirmation made that yes, we are indeed the same. It's quite a trip. It's something we get to do. You read my mind, Isaac. I can. I like to imagine we every now every now and then can just pass through the fields of energy. Someone just was and gets thoughts from the exhaust, if you will, just randomly get pelted with memories or sounds with. I can see it, like just this remembrance. Isn't so much information just getting hit by, getting absolutely wrecked by it. I don't know too many intelligent people who are happy. Ignorance is really bliss. There are so many things that I wish I didn't know. Oh yeah. I feel like I'm actively now forgetting something that I saw today that disturbed me. And like I can feel the feelings I had through the day having saw the thing, but the thing that I saw is no longer in my brain. My brain is like, nah, none of that, thank you. It's probably still there somewhere, as everything is with infinity, but I'm just not entertaining it right now. We're getting better at it, Joy V. Being smart and happy. It's almost like we have to use our smarts to trip ourselves out, like to melt our minds. Literally, that's what I do. I use my ability to articulate to myself to the point of not being able to articulate to myself. Nana manana 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 manana. Mm, and then I get to feel stupid, and then I get to be happy for a moment. Oh, yes, Isaac, I say, I feel like music is a purely psychedelic frequency. If you allow your mind to soften to the vibrations, you receive messages in the form of sensations. Literally getting goosebumps all over your skin, dude. Like getting a deep communication, feeling so deeply seen by music, even. I feel that joy. So much love to you, friends. All of you friends are Probably more intelligent than you would like to be sometimes. Thank you for sharing your intelligence with me, for sharing just yourself, the experience of you with this space, everything you contribute, even if you're not saying a single word, that within the psychic field of mind, you are experiencing this, tuning those frequencies, eliciting your infinity. It's mind blowing. It is, Jonathan. It really is mind blowing. To excitement, huh, Maxine? Having our minds blown. Morty's mind blowers. The ability to forget things is a slippery slope, huh, Joydeep? Because eventually it would reach this point where you could basically become a victim of yourself. You could actually become a victim of yourself, where you could forget things intentionally, and then in doing so, rob yourself of something in the future. Everything's okay, puppy. Everything is so fine. Everything is fine, sweetie girl. Everything is so gentle, beautiful, luscious, warm light, absolutely bathing our beings. Little birdies flying to their homes, settling in for the night. Crickets singing their song. Everything is fine, sweet girl. I love that expression. Feel seen by music. Never heard that, but it's so accurate. First time I felt seen by music, I was 15 and I put on the Deftones self titled album. Hmm. I think my first time was between the ages of 8 and 12. Uh, my cousin, because gave me or put some Sum 41 on this USB to MP3 stick. I don't know how to explain this, but it's literally USB. You know what I'm talking about, probably. USB stick that had these little controllers, and he used my dad's, put some Sum 41 on it for me, and one of the first songs that I ever listened to, like as a self, that I put earphones in my own ears so that I can listen to music that I want to listen to. Instead of all of my previous experiences being there's music, but someone else put it on because that's what they want to listen to. And Hell Song was one of those songs, one of the first songs that I ever listened to. Hell Song by Sum 41. Feeling seen by music, like it's so visceral as especially a grungy teenager, feeling so isolated by the world, feeling so lost, feeling so unloved, to be loved, to be seen by music in that way, to feel like you're, in fact, not alone. And in a weird way, this is then music, you know. Like, I do believe that words, even though I'm not singing, I'm singing. Every single word technically is but a song. Oh, Peppy Longstockings. That growling sounds so good. She does have actually like a nice little voice. Fortunately, her barking isn't like that obnoxious. It's not the greatest sound, but it's not like obnoxious. Like she doesn't have like one of those those like type of barks. At least she has some growl in it. I mean, I've been trying to get rid of some of these dark damn brain cells. Who needs to be this smart anyway? I just keep waking up cognitive. Whatever. Like we just want to be speaking in tones. Who needs to be able to articulate anyway? Slaps back with her head. Oh goodness, the cat asleep on my desk. Just look at me like my throat was a piece of tuna. Thanks to that growling. It was like, do you want to die? Stop making those sounds. I don't know. I'm about that eternal sunshine of the spotless mind life. I'd love to be able to scrub my mind clean, at least certain bits. I believe we probably will be able to, Joy V. We probably will be able to, and that's weirdly enough the future we're heading into. But I don't think it's going to be a scrubbing of the mind clean. It's going to be a melting more so, that you're going to be faced with something that you've seen, dramatic even. And instead of wiping it away like it doesn't exist, to be so fully with it, to melt into the presence of it, and to realize that after you do that, literally completely removing any separation between you and this thing you think is dramatic, you come back from it still being you, still being the Joy Vive that you think you know as Joy Vive, and it's funny because the Joy Vive you think you know as Joy Vive has changed an infinite amount of time throughout your lifetime as well. Every single time you hear something new that serves you, you become more, you grow. Eternal sunshine of the spotless mind. All I see is sunshine coming from you. Thank you, Joy V, for sharing it with us, friend. I feel that fractal beautifully melt. I had a lot of good music around me thanks to my dad, but the first time I played Minority by Green Day on my CD player and went for a bike ride to Transcendental, dude, I went walking. I put earphones in my ears for the first time with Sum 41, and I just went walking on the farm, dude. And I was like, what the fuck is happening to me right now? I'm feeling, how I'm feeling, why am I feeling so much transcendental, dude? It was so beautiful. Thank you, Brother Bay, for resonating with me on that one. Cannot stand yappy dogs. It's brutal, Servina. It really is brutal. And I know I'm not supposed to roll the R. I know. It's like there's a part of my brain, maybe it's primal, maybe it's like the warrior in me that used to protect my settlement from, I don't know, wild animals or invaders. Then this yappy dog is just like ceaselessly giving away our location, and there's just this part of me that's like, please, friend, I don't want to end you, but you need to end this ceaseless yapping. Otherwise, you would leave me no choice. And then just laying in bed, feeling these things, being like, you can't kill someone's dog, dude. You can't do shit like that. I was like, yeah, I know, but the prime. Oh, goodness. I want to scrub 40% of all popular cultural references so I know what people are talking about. But I'm hilariously off target with what I think it was. That feels like me sometimes, Brother Isaac, where you friends are saying things and I'm just like super off base, like completely even. Isaac using the thing on the school bus, getting super into a song, and the bus hits a bump, causing the CD to skip. I'd get so mad so quickly. Like, that is a fractal I never experienced. Like, I really did grow up in the digital age completely. Like, from the get go, it was like a USB C, right? A USB MP3 player. So, straight electronics into my ears. The fact that we had Walkmans, like a literal CD player with an audio jack, and it would spin a CD up and read it with a laser on your hip. Like that is so cool, actually. Just like theoretically, technologically, it's inferior, obviously, but theoretically, like just imagine explaining to an alien, for example. Yeah, we used to have these like actual centrifugal generating spinning discs attached to our hips to read data off of. Excuse me, what? Why would you do? Why would you do that? Isn't that dangerous? No, not really. Oh, what's up, Safina? I imagine your little blue schnoo every time I see you. Thank you so much for the love, Isaac. Failed reference not detected. It's okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was always rough. Or if you dropped it and damaged the CD, scratch it, or having scratched CDs, like going to video shops and renting a CD and then getting a CD that is scratched and then not being able to watch the movie, like one of the movies that you could rent that night. That instant visceral anger, like so angry, so mad, so fast. Oh goodness. I'm not even a millennial. I'm a straight up boomer. Gateway process? Or like a boomer when it comes to your technological prowess, efficiency? I can't imagine you as a boomer at all. Am I tripping out? Maybe an old soul, definitely. I think all of us are. It's kind of, I mean, like, just think about what we're doing right now. Literally transcending space and time, me and you, Tech Tight, to be in this moment. Good day to you too, Fred. Thank you for joining me. Oh, Melty, so young, not knowing the Walkman era, the cassette player era, or even the VHS player. I mean, we had VHSs. I mean, Lilo and Stitch, the the Road to El Dorado. Those two movies. Oh, like. I mean, I remember very viscerally watching the movie, but it's almost like it's being superpositioned over each other. So it's just multiple versions of me watching the same movie, and then I'm seeing multiple different versions of me, like not overlapping, like mm, uh, disgruntledly holding the reverse button in because our VHS player was broken. So you couldn't just, or didn't have the feature, so you couldn't just press the button and leave. You had to hold the button in and wait for it to rewind. And that, I was just like, bro, merman! Literally, look at this, dude. Look at the amount of fractals right now. Brother Bear, so much love to you. Said Stephanie, love as well. Thank you for joining us, man. It's so nice to have you here. I love that expression. Interactive, international, immersive experience with friends that came from my phone. So crazy. A little portal, polished pebble that lets you see into an infinity. Hmm, what a trip. Thank you for joining me. For choosing to use your little pebble to be here now instead of anywhere else. It's so nice to have you here today, Merman. How are you doing, friend? How's life been treating you? Yeah, you're sir that is a Discman, a Walkman, had a cassette player. Do you know what that is, young man? I do know what those is, unfortunately. Like I didn't ever have a Walkman or a cassette player. We had, I think I saw cassette players in people's cars when I was a little kid, but CDs were a thing in cars, but it it transitioned pretty quickly. Like I mean, yo, cell phone when I was 8 years old. So like at 8, you're actually paying attention to the world, right? And we had a computer literally from like my dad bought me a PlayStation 1 when I was a newborn. This was how he reasoned with my mother about the fact that he bought a PlayStation 1. I was like literally in diapers, and then he was like, "I'm gonna buy my son a PlayStation 1." And then my dad proceeded to play the PlayStation 1. Like, my dad is such a G. It makes me so happy to see parts of myself in him as well in that way. So, like, my dad was a gamer before I was even born. Like, when my dad was in college, he would play these rudimentary games. He tells me about his first computer and the salesman, hyping the 200 megabyte hard drive. And then my dad, like, losing it almost and being like, "What the hell are you gonna do with 200 megabytes of storage?" 200, like an actual, multi-disc layer device that has 200 megabytes of storage. And this device you're holding right now has upwards of minimum at this point, probably 32 gigabytes of storage. Just in your memory. You have multiple gigs in storage, probably in RAM alone, where at that point you had like kilobits of RAM, probably. Maybe a megabyte. 1 megabyte RAM. And that's where we are now. Moore's law doesn't seem to really be capping out, and at the same time we're bringing out really cool tech at the same time. Like, you see the amount of stuff we're doing with quantum right now. Like, it's beyond human understanding at this point. Like, it's actually beyond human understanding. Just think about that. Our technology, as far as we've come, and when I say it's beyond human understanding, I mean per human, a human. Like, a human cannot understand our technology right now. But we as a collective have the technology we have right now. Because we as a collective are as capable as we are, we're holding these devices right now. And it shows to a next step in this process. Like, we as human beings have civilization multiple times before. We figured it out multiple times before. But we figured it out in a very different way this time around. We figured out energy and how to transmit, how to transform energy into information in a way that we might not have been able to. We might have known how to turn energy into force before, where we could like take energy from the universe and move things with that. Maybe, I don't know necessarily, but now we have turned energy into information. That this is technically energy transmitted as information to your device that uses energy to transmit information into your eyes, into your mind right now. It is bonkers. And the fact that you're capable of interfacing with something like that. And monkeys can too. You can teach monkeys how to use Instagram. Like, you should go and, if you haven't seen that, go in YouTube. Monkey uses Instagram. Or ape, chimpanzee. I don't mean to be monkeyist. Primateist. So there's something different about this time around. The information age. And what we're using it for, as you mentioned, Brother Jumpin' Jack, is interactive, international, immersive experiences with friends. The information we want is that. An immersive, international, immersive experience with friends. Hot diggity damn. Whew. If that doesn't excite you, not much will. In this Walkman. Next one was a Zune. I miss mowing the grass with a player set earbuds instead of over the ear. I was I was a man that day. The noise cancellation, you were like, yes, this is the superior music listening experience. The interwebs where old souls unite efficiently. Oh yes, we've been around this process so many times that we cannot bear to keep believing that we're separate. We're like, hell no. And we're like, let's use the information to remember, please. I remember rubbing toothpaste onto my old Game Boy discs that got scratched, just praying for the weird spotty YouTube video gods that I could play Mario Sunshine one last time. Dude, I shared with Jovan this fractal of old YouTube, not that old as well, but especially with our internet access at that point, having like a loading bar, like little dotted loading bar, and then if you used one of your arrow keys, you could turn your loading bar into a game of Snake. So as you're watching like a 360p video and you get to watch like 5 seconds worth of video and you have to wait like 30 seconds for the next 5 seconds, you get to play Snake in between these games. You know, just the fact that that was a reality. That was my reality. I was playing Snake as I was waiting for the next 5 seconds of my YouTube video to load. Like, just imagine explaining that to one of our kids one day, 50 years into the future. Boomer, in all senses, technology, culture. I told you I'm an immortal goblin. I'm older than I look, too. Gateway process. I believe you, friend. I concerningly believe you, even. Oh, goodness. Peppy is coming to defend me. Come help me, Peppy. Come. Help me. There's a fight happening in the house for some reason. I'm gonna channel all of that visceral spice energy into card pulling. Yeah. We're gonna see if the universe is gonna communicate something in particular to us. Chimbity bombity boombity boom. I can't hear anything. The days of not being able to save your games. Dude! I not being able, like I'm just tripping out remembering that shit now again. Not being able to save your game mid-game on the consoles. At best, you got a password after completing a level. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Yeah. Man, like the amount of stuff that we've experienced in our technology already as human beings. Oh man, I remember my old family computer that was a giant binge battleship. It was these big fuzzy speakers and had some loose cables or something. Yeah, dude, these were like yeah, exactly that. I remember it as well. Like Windows Media Player, you staring as a kid into the infinities, dude, listening to tracks every 20 minutes or so. You'd randomly get the loudest curling techno screech, which would freak you out and make you scramble for the cord. I have 5% battery left. Come with me. So I might not even be able to read this card if I rush. Stop. This one. Whoa! Okay, that's trippy. I was like specifically looking at this card on the deck before I started shuffling it. So the fact that that card came back means that it's definitely the one that we should be pulling. Compassionate Pele. 4% left. For once, Melty is behind on YouTube instead of Reddit chat. Yeah, it's a little bit. Card time. Card time. I wanna rush. Number 41. Compassionate Pele. 4% on the battery left. Love you, Reddit friends. It might drop as I'm reading. Thank you for joining me. Compassionate Pele is compassion and emotional maturity. Pele is the compassionate volcano goddess of Hawaii. Traditionally, she is depicted as powerful, yet selfish, contrary, even vengeful. This card's alternative depiction comes from a shared vision relating to her compassionate and passionate side. She is, as we are, maturing and becoming more loving and compassionate. Compassion is not passive. It is actively opening the heart through the awareness of the interdependence of all things, including other creatures, nature, and the inanimate world. At our core essence, we exist as pure, unconditional love, realizing empathy and concern for others. Today's topic. We sometimes forget this essence, or in our emotional immaturity, act as if we have. Compassion is the embodiment of emotional maturity and a clue to better understanding our humanness. Compassionate Pele now becomes an example and guide for those who are intentionally remembering their soul essence. Hearts created form, hearts created from sacred geometries, golden spirals inform your movement towards emotional maturity. As we mature towards As we mature together, we will realize hope for the human race. Let this card be a reminder to walk the path of peace and compassion in every way, every day. Know that your every thought, word, and action has an effect on the whole and touches the spirit of every other being. Walk in awareness with compassion for all of creation. Be happy for others, friends. This is the way. I love you. Thank you for joining me today. It was a pleasure having you here. I hope you have an amazing day. As the sun sets for me, you still have the rest of your day left. Go and be the most beautiful you can be. Share your essence. Make someone's life a little bit better. As we say here in Haywire Hill, Uncle Becky's quote, be the reason someone smiles. Doesn't cost you anything. Being the reason that someone smiles, instead of being the reason that someone has a bad day, is the power you always have. Thank you, Savina. Resonance. Resonance. Jumpin' Jack. We are perfectly in tune. Zzz, Reddit the dead. So nice still having you friends here on the YouTube. That reminds me. I saw a video of an ape driving a golf cart on Reddit. How sick was that? Like driving. Like he was like in it. It was like this is the superior mode of transportation. He understood completely. An arm thrown over the passenger seat. Like you see exactly what we are, that we are not different, that we are all that consciousness. We just happen to be in different vehicles and we just have significantly more capacity to process information than they do. But that information, being able to drive a car, is simple enough for even them to figure out. Just crunchy Sega sounds like the most comforting set of vibrations I know. For me, it's the sound when the PlayStation 2 actually goes through with the disc load, dude. Instead of like being in that loading state and it like shwang, that sound was like the most comforting thing to me. That reminds me, it's Google's jumping dinosaur loading screen game still a thing. If you don't have a connection, I do believe that it still is. Yeah, Jovan. I hope so. It saved me in high school. Dude, I literally played that game in my computer class instead of paying attention to my teacher teaching me what a USB port is. My brain sings that Sega tune so often. There we go. He comes with the PS2 sound when it started. Yes, I'm going to try and spell it. Exactly that sound. See you guys tomorrow. Love. Thank you. Thank you, dear friends, for joining me again, for experiencing a sunset, for being happy for one another, with one another today. I look forward to seeing you friends again tomorrow. Thank you for joining me. I love you. I love you. Go and tell other people you love them too.